Welcome to the ATP Project. You're with your host, Steve and Jeff. Hey, Steve-O.
How are you today?
Good, mate. Good. We are talking about peppermint performance.
Yes.
And it's interesting. I think peppermint is, most people understand peppermint. They think, oh, it's good for your breath. It's
toothpaste.
Yeah, toothpaste. And, but actually the benefits of peppermint are far and wide and varied. And has some amazing compounds, some amazing attributes that can improve quite a lot of things, Steve, not just your breath.
No, not just your breath. It goes through all areas. You can put it on topically, aromatherapy, you can ingest it. There's 3 real areas where this really kicks in. And the first one, you mentioned peppermint performance. I've got a question for you that I'll answer at the end of the podcast.
Okay.
If you ingest peppermint oil, how much will your, say, grip strength increase?
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll give you a multiple choice. Is it 5%, 10%, or over 35%?
I think I know.
All right.
I'll leave that to the end.
Just ingesting peppermint oil.
Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
Okay.
And I guess, Steve, like anything, it's a bell curve. Too much of a good thing can make you sick.
Oh, too much of it, yeah.
And so we've got to talk about the amounts that people have. But it's interesting, Steve, you spoke about a couple of different ways that peppermint oil can be used. I mean, of course, it has a very strong taste, but it's also got a very strong smell. And what I mean by strong is obviously very distinctive, quite unique. I mean, I guess, and there's a few different mints as well too, because we're talking about peppermint, but there's also spearmint.
Yeah.
There's what are the other ones? Wintergreen.
There's loads of mints. They're all of the mentha category. They've been used for 4,000 years.
So orally.
Yep.
Nasally. I don't know how you say that. Like smelling.
Smelling.
And topical.
Topical.
Yeah.
So I mean, we can start with, say, topical uses of peppermint if you want.
Okay. I would have thought the most obvious one was the oral, but if we want to save the best for last, let's go with the topical.
We want to save the best for last because that's where taking it orally is really does some amazing things.
Okay.
Yeah, topically.
And can you also talk about? I mean, and I don't know, Steve-O, if there's much in terms of ways of talking about, spearmint and other mints, and what if there's any difference really in terms of the actual active properties. There must be, obviously.
There is
All
a
right,
bit.
Let's go for it.
Sure. Peppermint. Now, topical uses, there's the main one here, which was published in a study called Peppermint Oil in the Acute Treatment of Tension-Type Headaches.
Oh, okay. So this is where I've seen before, and back in the day, they used to use peppermint onto the temples, and maybe even the base of the neck as well too.
Yep.
To relieve tension.
Absolutely.
Does it work?
And headache, yes, it does.
It does.
It actually proven in placebo-controlled trials. Peppermint oil targets headache pathophysiology in multiple ways, but it's comparable to aspirin and paracetamol.
Wow.
With its effectiveness. So it's pretty good.
Yeah.
A solution of 10% peppermint oil in ethanol, which is drinking alcohol, are licensed for the treatment of tension-type headaches in adults and children above 6 years. Wow. And that's in Germany. This study was published.
Yeah.
So pretty incredible that you get a vodka. If you want to just use, you can't buy pure ethanol unless you're a licensed chemist, and then you put 10% of peppermint oil in it, and you just rub that on your temples when you get a headache.
Wow.
Simple.
Wow.
Good one, isn't it?
It works. Well, I mean, again, natural, Steve. I guess there can't be too many downsides. I mean, maybe unless you get a little bit of peppermint oil in your eye, which probably wouldn't be the most pleasant thing to do.
I know.
But that's kind of cool. So maybe, again, if you're suffering with headaches, that could be a good thing to give a crack.
An attention type headache, which is the most common type of headaches that people get. Okay. It's a little bit different for other sorts of headaches, but cluster headaches it probably won't have an effect in. But tension type headaches, it works great because it does help with your thinking. When we get onto the aromatherapy side of the thing, I'll talk about what the smell of peppermint oil does to you.
Because it does cross the blood-brain barrier, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
And that's interesting. Anyway, we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. Keep going,
okay, so let's say, while you've got your oil there, if you can make up a 3% peppermint oil solution, that's not too difficult, is it?
I don't know, Steve.
Well, no, you just put 3% in 3 grams in 100 mils of vodka.
Vodka.
It has to be ethanol.
Ah, okay.
Because ethanol dissolves the oil.
Well, this is interesting because I used to use a lot of homeopathic medicine when I was younger, and I used to use a thing called Nat Mur for my hay fever because I got really bad hay fever. Yeah. And look, placebo or not, it used to bloody work a lot. And I remember Mum used to use vodka. Yeah. I think she used to use a little bit more than maybe. Damn, I've got to go get another bottle of vodka. You have a little thing of Nat Mur about this size, right? And they just go under the tongue.
Yep.
But yeah.
Nat Mur is Latin for sodium sodium chloride or salt.
Oh, okay.
So when you get that clear nasally discharge that's kind of salty, taking that myrrh homeopathically works very well against that. So I'm a qualified homeopath.
Yeah,
does everyone know that?
No, I didn't. But I think in terms of like treats like, is that what it was?
That's the whole philosophy.
And look, I found it really fascinating. I know that Dr. Isaac Goldie did some fantastic work. And what's interesting, a lot of people go, homeopathic, it's all been poo-pooed and, there's no science behind it and all the rest of it. Well, Dr. Isaac Goldie, and you can look this up yourself, actually did some. I think he did his thesis. I'm not sure. He did his PhD, right?
Yeah. In something we can't talk about.
Right. But it was fascinating. Well, I don't know if we can't talk about it, Steve. I think maybe we can, but I'm just not going to go there. What did they say? Safe for work?
Yeah.
Safe for YouTube?
Yeah.
So let's be safe for YouTube. But anyway, cutting a long story short, fascinating research with some really amazing evidence. And I think this is the nice thing, is that we need to back this up with evidence. Now, a lot of people say, you know what, trial and error, centuries, even millennia of years of using some of these things, not homeopathic, but is good enough for me. So if it's traditional, I'm going to use it in a traditional way. Great. If you need a little bit more science, dig into it, because often the answer and the information's there. But Dr. Isaac Goldie, homeopathic studies that he's done, world class, first class.
He's still working too, by the way, still in practice. Nice guy. I've met him a number of times.
Yeah, right.
Do you know that peppermint's mentioned in the Bible?
Is it?
Yeah, Matthew 23:23.
What does it say?
It says, and I've got the quote here, so I don't remember it. Woe to you, scribes and philanthes, hypocrites, for you the mint, dill, and cumin have left undone the weightier matters of the law, justice, mercy, and faith.
Wow.
Matthew 23:23. And on the other side, I think Charles Darwin used peppermint oil for the studies of his botanicals as well.
Did he?
Yeah. So, I mean, even Alexander the Great talked about the powers of the peppermint.
He was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know French artists from 1895? Do you know much about them?
No.
Oh, well, there's one guy called Paul Cézanne.
No.
No, and he painted a very, very famous painting, and guess what it featured? Peppermint oil bottle.
That was I probably had a pretty good chance of getting that one right, Steve.
Now, another history one, there was a famous medicine called opium.
Yes, which is from poppies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they used to come along and with razors or sharp knives, they used to prick them, right? And the sap would come out.
Yeah.
They'd let it sort of solidify, if you like. They'd take that off and Bob's your uncle.
They did, and they used it medicinally. And guess what they added with it?
Peppermint
oil.
There you go.
Because it tastes awful. Opioids taste horrendous.
Do they?
Oh, yeah. If you've ever tasted one.
I haven't actually.
In my earlier days, when I was on opioids for my arthritis, I used to chew the tablets because they would work quicker,
better, right?
And quicker. Yeah.
Right. Were they bitter?
Oh, I can't even describe the flavour. And this was codeine phosphate, and it was just like, it was raw.
Yeah, right. So you must have been in a lot of pain to have to do that.
Yeah. Terrible pain, like arthritis is incurable. Look at me now.
Yeah, so, look at me now.
Look at me now. I went to the gym this morning. So that's why they put peppermint in there. But also, you've got to remember a lot of, in ancient medicine, diseases were considered heating a lot and hot and inflammation.
Yeah.
And
this is particularly Ayurvedic.
Yes.
Wasn't it? Yeah. Because they believed in cooling and heating and damp.
Well, so did the Chinese. Almost all medicine systems recognise that except for Western.
Yeah.
We're a bit of an outlier in the medicines of the world.
I can't believe they were all wrong. That was so wrong. They had to wait until we came around and we'd tell them how it's going to be.
It's incredible, isn't it? Incredible.
Steve.
Yes.
Do you know what I like?
What?
A good bar.
Don't we all?
So we're releasing our new No Way bar.
Oh, right, of course.
And that's across.
No way.
No way. That's across all of Australia.
Yep.
It's currently being stocked in Woolies, and we've got it online as well too. This is different. This is really different. This has been a long time in the making, and one of the biggest questions that the No Way bar answers is gut problems. Because one of the biggest things that a lot of the other products out there in the marketplace that we didn't want to use is huge amounts of maltitol and sorbitol.
Ugh.
Which, Steve, what does that do to your guts?
Oh, it tears it apart and makes you fart.
Mate, really bad. I mean, the green apple splatters, we're talking about diarrhea, movement, and also it does it actually enhance the bad bugs in your gut?
It does, some of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Provotella, yeah.
Provotella. Which, what does Provotella do, Steve-O?
Well, it's associated with increased cardiovascular disease.
Wow. Yeah. So you don't want that. So the No Way bar is no artificial colours or flavours.
What about sweetness?
Well, it only uses stevia, Steve. And Thornton. So it's got natural sweeteners in there as well too. It's got nearly 9 grams of fibre in there as well too, which is making up that gap. And all of the bar's protein comes from collagen. Not a little tiny, 2 gram, 5 gram. No. 20 grams of body balance collagen, which
body balance is the best one.
The gold standard.
Yeah.
So, what else can I say about the bar, Steve?
Well, has it got soy in it?
No.
Has it got nuts in it?
No.
Oh, man, it's amazing. It's very good. Has it got gluten?
No.
Oh,
no gluten. Yeah,
dairy? No dairy?
No. I mean, there's tiny trace amounts in the chocolate, Steve, and we have to put that on there because even though it's because it's manufactured on a line that had dairy in it.
Yeah.
But there's actually no dairy in the chocolate, but there's trace amounts, so we have to put that in there. But no, there's no lactose.
So no sucralose.
There's virtually no dairy. So.
I know. And sucralose, that terrible sweetener that we had.
None of that as well too.
It's like a pure bar fibre.
So people go, so what's it like compared to the old bars that we used to have, Steve-O? And the old bars were rubbery pieces of thong. They were kind of cool because the macros were good and it was collagen. And we were sort of just testing the market at that. We were just playing games, but now the mood's all changed. Now we're not playing games anymore.
I love these bars because they're choc coated.
They are, and they're actually an Australian chocolate that we've got as well too, and it's a real chocolate. It's not a protein chocolate. And what most companies do is that they make these bars and then they put this protein chocolate, which kind of, as the old saying goes, Steve, looks good from far, but is far from good.
No, they taste average, don't they?
So, mate, no. Realistically, they're typically high in maltitol and other things like that as well too. So, no, we've used real chocolate, and mate, it's a great bar. It's fantastic for that, snack after dinner, in between meals. 20 grams of protein, high in fibre, low in sugars. It's just a great bar, all natural. I mean, my kids eat them. So they're available. They're out there. Give them a crack. There's 3 flavors.
Go to Woolies.
There's 3 flavors, Steve. There's Belgian chocolate. Yep. There's chocolate orange. Yep. And there's toffee.
Get them online too.
Yep.
If you can't go to Woolies.
Yep.
Beautiful bar.
If they're sold out, which I'm thinking they're going to sell out.
No, I think they will.
Our biggest problem at the moment, and they're going to be available through all of Australia very, very shortly, is that we got caught on the hop a little bit. We got a big order that we weren't expecting, and we've just been making these things like no tomorrow.
3:30 this morning it was going.
Yeah, 3:30 this morning. Like the team working hard to make these. They're fresh. Fresh is best. Get in, grab some. Please come back and let us know what you think.
Yep, beautiful.
Nice one.
But I mentioned before about topical uses, and we can make up a 10% solution for our temples, and if you make up a 3% solution, guess what? It is good to rub on. Have a guess. Don't smile like that. This is a G-rated
I am trying
show.
to be Actually, is this a G-rated show?
Yes,
because
it's a G-rated answer anyway. It's something that we could both use too. Hair.
But I know that peppermint and caffeine have shown to be incredibly beneficial for preventing or slowing and potentially even helping with regrowing lost hair.
I'm going to say the R word, regrowing, in this study.
Wow.
Yeah. What
Steve?
Yeah.
Where's my peppermint caffeine shampoo then, you arsehole?
Well, I mean, have a think about the shampoo and what you could put in it. I mean, there's loads of things that we talked about. We went through this and you could flavour it or make it smell nice with peppermint while also having a therapeutic effect. If you put 3% peppermint oil in there.
So tell me, Steve, because I know there's a lot of, not just men, though a lot of men, but also women suffering from alopecia. Tell me about the study.
All right. Well, I want to, this is just for the YouTube viewers, I want to put up a picture of a group of rats. Now what you can do with rats is, you can't do this to humans, is you can make them bald, right? And what you do is you put topical treatments on them to see how well it grows back. And they compared 4 groups of rats. Right. They gave them 1 saline, which is just salt.
Sure.
They gave them 1 jojoba oil, which has been.
What do you call it? Jojoba oil?
Yeah.
I thought it was always jojoba.
Jojoba oil could be jojoba oil. That's the Latin.
I thought it was a soft J, like yogging.
Jose.
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Not yogging, I'm joking. but like Jose and
Like-
Jesus.
Like
Right.
jogging.
Like, yeah. But I thought it was jojoba. Do you call it jojo? You call it Jehovah. Hang on, you
Jehovah.
can't mix up your J's. You can't have the J at the
Oh, yeah,
beginning.
we'll call it jojoba oil then. Okay,
Jojoba.
there we go. So it's
I definitely don't think it's jojoba.
jojoba. No, I don't think
that
that's
doesn't
it
sound
either.
right. Yeah, jojoba. Yeah.
So we've got a group saline, jojoba oil.
Yeah.
We've got minoxidil. Remember, everyone knows
Oh,
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
the drug.
yeah.
And we've got peppermint oil. And if you look at this picture, if you're viewing us on YouTube, and if you're not, you must have a look at the picture of these rats. Look at the difference in the structures and guess
Show me.
which
I
one.
want to see these
you
rats.
You want to see the rats?
Yeah, I do.
All right. There's the rats there. Now, if you can see there's a bit of a difference between them at the bottom there.
Yeah. So the PEO down the bottom seems to be the best, I think, Steve.
And
Is
guess
that
what
right?
PEO stands for?
Peppermint essential oil.
Yes.
Right. Wow.
Now look at the MX whatever one.
So the SA, which was the saline solution, yeah, no difference.
No difference.
The JO, which was the
jojoba oil.
A couple of rats, maybe a little bit better. Some of them seem no different at all.
Yeah.
The MXD, which is the
Minoxidil, yeah. That's the drug.
Yeah, not bad.
No.
A couple of the rats quite good. One of the rats, nothing. Whereas the PEO,
Peppermint oil.
outstanding. All of them.
Yeah. 3% peppermint oil. Better than minoxidil.
Okay, Steve, for those of you that don't know, Steve is a chemist who actually used to work for a very well-known brand, peddling your poison.
Yes.
Mate, come on. We've got a factory out the frickin' back. We've got wet labs and all the rest of it. I want my shampoo.
Well, let's do it.
Go and get the Steve.
Yeah.
Here I am. Wife doesn't love me anymore.
Oh, she does.
No, not really.
No.
Oh, she does. I'm just kidding. But she'd love me a lot more if I had
More hair.
long flowing locks.
Yeah. Same here. I'd get more action if I had that too, I guess. But
I wasn't going there.
I'm going there.
I wasn't going there. But I mean, look, Steve, we all want to look more beautiful, right?
Yeah, of course we do.
Give me my. Would you put caffeine in with it? Just as a side note.
Of course you would.
And there's a few other things as well too.
Oh,
right?
loads of things.
How long was that done over? Because I've got another follow-up question for you on that as well too. So the telophase, right?
Yep.
Typically they say takes 9 months.
9
right?
months, yeah.
Now the other thing I have to say, and then you can answer these questions however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but that's not a problem with regards to DHT, which typically is my problem and probably yours.
That's
not so
caffeine.
much with females.
Yeah.
Okay, because with women, alopecia, and correct me if I'm wrong, Steve, I think alopecia or hair loss in women should be easier to treat than alopecia in men with male pattern baldness, where DHT is binding to the hair follicle and strangling it and killing it.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
Now, I'm always looking for non-invasive cure-alls, right? I mean, I live my life in hope that nature knows best, and that science then, through our understanding of how nature works, we can extract, we can isolate, we can enhance, we can combine to create superstructures, right? It's funny because I was saying to Steve this morning, I was just talking about epigenetics and how they believe that through manipulating mRNA that they can actually, change people's, it's gene expression, right? And we can change people.
Sure.
I always worry though, because epigenetics also say if you change people by 1%, they're no longer considered to be human, which is also a bit of a concern.
I think chimpanzees are about 99%.
Yeah, I thought it was 90. Yeah, and clouds are like 97%.
Oh, lettuces are. Yeah,
lettuces are what?
They're not. I can't remember 70-something%.
Right.
So living matter is made up of a genetic
like carbon. So there's a lot of common traits there. But you're right. So
being a monkey might be all right. You can climb easier.
No, because you what?
More hair.
Oh, that's true.
Don't worry.
God Schmod, I want my monkey man. That was out of The Simpsons, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So funny how popular culture sort of, what is it, art imitating life? Anyway.
Remember Homer had that baldness treatment?
No.
Oh, yeah. He grew these really long locks of hair and got all these promotions and everything, and then couldn't afford it and went bald again. Overnight.
And probably became a rock star and really popular and got promotions.
If I
was writing it,
he was vice president.
Is it still going, that show?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was Tracy Ullman's show. Do you believe that? That was where it started. Look it up. So Bart Simpson's originally, it was called Lucky Red Shorts.
Really?
Yeah. And it was done on the Tracy Ullman show. And it was really, it's so funny. And that was back in the mid 80s. I think the first Simpsons came, was it 1987? Anyway.
Oh, now we got to check
digress.
this.
But I love it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm not going to say God spot, I want my monkey man, but I want my hair shampoo, Steve.
Well, I'll tell you how long this. You asked about this this study, and if you reread this picture that I put up before, look down the left-hand column and see how long it took for all the rats to grow their hair back using peppermint oil.
The left-hand column.
Yep, as you're facing it.
So 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 what? Up the top there. Have a look. 4.
Oh my gosh.
Weeks.
But Steve,
yes.
What about the telophase within humans? Because I understand that there is I'm pretty sure, and correct me where I'm wrong, phase, it's about 3 months per telophase. Is that correct?
That's right.
And so it's 9, realistically, if you're going to do a hair trial, you need 9 months to really see if it's effective.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if this is not DHT based, I mean, if they pluck these rats, I mean, mind you, you'd think that naturally the hair would grow back. So therefore, the placebo, something should have happened.
Well, yeah, I think so. And it slightly did on the measurements, because that's just
barely,
massaging. Yeah, barely. Now, the reason why this works
Lucky
is...
rats again. Or mind you, they got deflocked first and then massaged.
That's right. And now the reason why they give it a placebo is because the act of putting something on a rat may do something to its hair. You know what I mean? So that's why the placebo was in there. It did bugger all, but it's something, it was just above the baseline. But the amazing thing is 4 weeks, and this works by increasing vascularization in the head. So it's not the DHT hormone way. This increases blood flow to the hair.
So again, this is Steve. This is where we've got this ATP beauty hair stuff.
Yep.
That's
geez.
I know.
So if you made up at home a 10% and a 3% peppermint oil, one for your headaches to 10% and one for your hair 3%, then that's a great start to use peppermint oil, to help with your tension headaches and your balding. I mean,
I don't get headaches, but I'll certainly take the 3% for the hair loss. Okay.
So easy.
Okay.
Now, so they're the main topical uses of peppermint.
Okay.
Now, do you want to go on to the aromatherapy one? This would be a pretty quick one.
Yeah.
Because aromatherapy would be a good one to put out in the office there.
So, well, it's funny, actually. I was just thinking about that the other day. Aromatherapy, Steve, and again, you would have had a lot more study than I know. I go into a lot of places and they're burning lavender, which is designed to help with stress, correct?
Correct.
And again, we've actually heard with the overuse of lavender essential oil that it can actually enhance feminine qualities even in men. If you get too much of it. There was actually, I think, some lavender oil that they were using in washing detergent.
Yeah.
And the effects that we're having on children were actually too pronounced.
Wow.
So you have to be careful. So I know that essential oils are very potent and very powerful and elicit very strong effects.
Yeah.
So like anything, too much of a good thing is sometimes not a good thing.
When I get massages, I ask for lavender oil. Maybe I shouldn't.
Does it put you to sleep?
Oh yeah, massaging.
Do you fall asleep all the time?
Yeah, when I can, it's beautiful. Getting a good massage. Because I'm a qualified massage therapist too.
Are you?
Yeah,
Steve, let's set up the table.
The reason why I know this now is because I re-registered my.
Have you? Do you know that I'm a qualified? Well, I was a qualified massage therapist as well.
Oh, that's right.
I am a forklift driver as well.
I remember being a forklift driver
when I was young and I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
No, Water Street there in the Valley. I went and did my massage course there. Yep.
Yeah, I'm goodness help the person I massage these days because I out of practice.
Yeah.
But, it's something that I was always, I always enjoyed doing for people. But
did you do rolfing and all that as well too?
I never did rolfing.
Yeah.
I never did Bateko. I did a few. I went to seminars on all this sort of stuff and applied kinesiology, but I never actually got the ticket for it. But you could incorporate it into a naturopathic clinic, but you couldn't, you could only take it so far. And that was fine. Like I'm a fully qualified 3-year homeopathic person, so I can prescribe any of the M's or which are the more potent ones.
Yep.
And that's fine. I have access to them all. And homeopathics are really good.
Yeah.
We could do a podcast on that.
We should. I mean, again, I find they just get beaten up so badly. And the problem is I think people hear this stuff, it goes kind of into their subconscious and then automatically they've got a bent against it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as well too, you'll find that people and organizations and all the rest of it have a real bent. So they create a lot of straw man arguments. And look, I understand it's very effective, especially if you're not familiar with the topic. Straw man arguments are a brilliant way to get your point across and create your agenda or implement your agenda.
Exactly. So, and it's very difficult with homeopathics because, you talk about a runny nose there. We'd want to know, is it worse at night? What colour is the snot? Do you have any other symptoms with it?
Typically around cats, clear Steve, very pronounced puffy eyes as well too.
It's very Nat Murray, and that's because it's the clearness and you might even have the taste of it being salty. Yeah,
salty snot.
That's classic Nat Murray.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's where a lot of the salt works in the mucous membranes to stimulate interleukin-17 to boost the immune system of your mucous membranes, and that's why too much salt in some people can be a problem if they've got high levels of interleukin-17.
Does that increase what am I looking for? Histamine reactions? And
not just histamine, but more autoimmune diseases, interleukin-17.
Okay.
Like ankylosing spondylitis, the one I had,
right.
interleukin-17. I'd never heard of it when I was around. Of course, it's like, but that, and interleukin-17 is normally a good thing because you don't want too much of it.
Yep.
So same thing.
Cool.
So if you put peppermint oil in an aromatherapy oil,
yes,
it increases alertness. So it's very, very good for increases processing speed too.
And Steve, this is what we're talking about before as well too, is that peppermint actually crosses the blood-brain barrier.
Yes.
Now, it's one of my favorite supplements that I do use because it also is a way to stimulate, increase alertness, but without stimulating the adrenal function, without then having the problems of, say, doing a late night, training session and then having caffeine so that I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And a funny thing, and again, we did this in a podcast as well too with circadian rhythms, is that you might think, okay, I can have a caffeine, I can have a shot of coffee, or I can use a pre-workout with work. And we've got pre-workouts with caffeine in them. So I like them and I think they've got their place.
Yep.
But if you're taking them in the afternoon and late afternoon, they will disrupt your circadian rhythm. So even if you get to sleep, the quality of sleep that you're getting, the growth hormone production, the detoxifying
the lymphatic system.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, could be disrupted. Yep. So I always say, if you're training late, especially if you're an evening trainer, don't take caffeine.
No.
But maybe you should try, I don't know, a fantastic supplement that contains peppermint oil in it. I can't think of any off the top of my head that any wonderful companies are making.
Wouldn't have a clue.
But yeah.
Wouldn't have a clue. Now, peppermint oil is also good for other things too. Now, if you inhale the oil, again, it's extremely beneficial for nausea.
I have heard that.
Yeah. So let's say you've had, I'll
is it to do with the, no, it wouldn't be the vagus nerve, would it?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, it downregulates vagus nerve stimulation. And it's peppermint oil was originally 4,000 years ago used for gastrointestinal disorders.
Right.
And you're going to see with a theme when we talk about ingestion that this is extremely good for the gastrointestinal tract as well as many other things.
Wow.
But let's say you've had a, I don't know, in this case, I'll read the title of the paper. This is a published paper, 2020. The effect of aromatherapy with peppermint essential oil on nausea and vomiting after cardiac surgery, a randomized control trial.
Yeah.
So a very strong piece of evidence.
Yeah.
Cut a long story short, peppermint essential oil inhalation has beneficial effects on reducing nausea and vomiting after open heart surgery.
Wow.
Very, very good for, and the results are astounding. Cut them in half, basically. The
people.
Nausea.
Yeah.
The surgery.
I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. But wow. So it reduced by 50%. Which is amazing because, I mean, again, obviously one of the worst things that you can do if you've had major surgery is that's a violent action when you vomit. Yeah. As well too, like with the whole, it's just, that's a lot of contraction, right? I mean, that's not what you want.
The worst type of nausea you can get is if you're on chemotherapeutic drugs.
Right.
Because chemo targets rapidly dividing cells, like cancer cells, also hair cells, and also gut cells because they rapidly divide. So the nausea from chemotherapy is considered the worst. And guess what's found to be effective?
Is that, sorry, just
that's right.
Is that part of the reason why women get morning sickness is because of rapidly dividing cells?
No, that's different. That's a different level. It's a low vitamin K and those sort of things that they've got that makes nausea.
Sorry, I digress. Anyway,
but so if you're on chemo like cisplatin, they mentioned here, if you give them one drop of peppermint oil placed right under your nose and between the lip, like just here.
Like pure peppermint oil?
Yeah, pure peppermint oil. They gave one drop and 3 times a day for 5 days following chemo administration. What they found was, I'll read the conclusion, The peppermint oil would significantly reduce the frequency of nausea, vomiting, wrenching, and the severity of nausea in cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy.
Would that work for pregnant women too?
Yeah, it would. That's a great way to do it.
So just putting a drop of essential oil right on that
it's called
part.
Love. It starts with L. Doug would know it. I can hear him saying it. It's not labyrinth. It's something else. I can't remember the name. There's the technical name for the thing in the upper lip. But anyway, so this was published. It's called The Effects of Peppermint Oil on Nausea, Vomiting and Wrenching in Cancer Patients Undergoing Chemotherapy, an open-label, quasi-randomized controlled pilot trial. So it's quasi-randomized means that they couldn't randomize with a placebo because you can smell the peppermint. You know what I mean? So there's no placebo in that one.
Yep.
So they just put a drop of oil there that was inert.
Right.
So, no placebo. I know we're going to get people, no placebo. It's like you can't have it.
Yeah, you can't. It's like placebo on surgery.
Yeah.
Like if you've been cut open or not, right?
Exactly. I mean, the incredible difference, the p-values, which is the significance, is less than 0.001 on the benefits. It's just incredible. So a simple thing like that. Now they give you wafers and all sorts of anti-nausea drugs, but a little drop of peppermint. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? I can't think of a reason.
Because you can't make money out of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now you want to get on to the real exciting stuff? I mean, I think that's exciting.
Oh, I love it.
The aromatherapy stuff.
Steve, I'm telling you, I'm still peeking about the hair. I'm still waiting for my shampoo tomorrow. You better get in that freaking wet lab and make me some shampoo.
It works really good. It really, really good. Okay, so let's say you ingest peppermint oil from a supplement. Okay, just say you do that. There was a recent 2018 review article, and it's called "The Physiological Effects and Safety of Peppermint Oil and Its Efficacy in Irritable Bowel Syndrome and Other Functional Disorders." That's the name. Okay. And a big paper, and it found that it incredibly improved all symptoms of this particular condition. It worked via its antimicrobial effects, calcium channel blocking, so it helped the bowel relax and then didn't cramp up, so it blocks calcium in the bowel.
Yeah. So that would help with constipation.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Anti-inflammatory, modulation of psychosocial distress as well. So it helped the physiology of the stress of the individual because it helped the gut. The gut releases serotonin. The person feels less stressed.
Oh.
So really, really good. And there were a few adverse effects reported with the peppermint oils trial. So this is a really very important paper, which summarises. There's many papers on irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah, how long ago was that done, Steve?
2018, this one.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is a meta-analysis of all the papers on it, so quite incredible. So I love that. And I've got another meta-analysis. I don't know what I was thinking. I've got two of them here, meta-analysis on 2019 paper on peppermint oil. And it was the most comprehensive one to date, shown to be safe and effective therapy for pain and global symptoms in adults with irritable bowel syndrome. So very safe, great for the gut, really healthy. So it's also antimicrobial, but what it found, but it didn't knock out the good bugs. It just knocked out the bad bugs.
Funny how nature seems to do that, right?
Weird, hey? Because we do ingest peppermint oils, like if you have a chewy or something.
Right.
And toothpaste gets in.
Yeah. Okay.
So the body's used to peppermint oil.
Yeah.
You use it for cooking, of course.
Is all the peppermint and like mints and all the rest of it, is that genuine? Because, I mean, it's hard to fake a mint, right? I mean, it's got to be real.
It is real because it's so cheap.
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah. So most of them are real. Because it's like, if you were getting something that I can't think of it as super duper expensive oil, you could fake it.
Right.
Like they fake even some flavors. They call them NI flavors or nature identical.
Yeah.
So they just, it's the same chemical that's in nature, but they synthesized in a lab.
Yeah.
Peppermint oil is cheap and nasty and easy to get.
Yeah.
Like,
cheap and nasty. Don't say cheap and nasty.
No, it's not nasty. It's just very easy to make. Did I tell you I used to make eucalyptus oil sometimes?
No.
On a farm? Yeah, my auntie owned a farm out in central Victoria, and I used to go to the eucalyptus manufacturing factory out in the bush, the eucalyptus bush, and I would help with it.
Well, it's good for arthritis, isn't it, eucalyptus oil?
Yeah, very good, and very good for your coughs and colds.
Yes. Okay.
And speaking, guess what else is good for coughs and colds?
I have no idea, Steve.
Look, really, really good. Peppermint oil is great for opening up the bronchioles.
Yes.
Now, so that helps you breathe easy and all that sort of thing. But guess what else it helps you do? Perform better, exercise better.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anything that's going to open up the airways.
Yes.
Obviously, is going to help with oxygenation of the blood, the transfer of. Does it help with the transfer of oxygen and carbon dioxide? Does it actually help to build up and buffer acid and things like that, Steve?
It does. It helps you blow off carbon dioxide because it opens up the bronchioles, which lead to the alveoli, which then where it exchanges CO2 for O2. So yeah, now you mentioned blood lactic acid before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll read this. This is called The Effects of Peppermint on Exercise Performance. That's the name of the paper, International Society of Sports Nutrition. So good one. And it says relaxation of the bronchial muscles, increase of ventilation and brain oxygen concentration, and it decreases in the blood the lactate levels. So it's very, very good. So lactate is lactic acid, and it forms a buffer lactate. So if you can get rid of those, you're going to perform better aerobically. So it's really good for improving your performance. And they measured this in 20 healthy male students, and they consumed mineral water containing 0.05 mils of peppermint.
Wow. Which
is a significant amount.
Yeah, right.
You can hear me say that a lot or for the next paper as well.
Yeah.
Because 0.05, if you think of it from your blood alcohol thing, that's the level that works really, really well. So keep eye out for products with 0.05 mils or 500 micromils.
Right.
So that's the one used in this study and the next study. And the next study is a killer study.
All right, let's get there.
You ready for this one?
Yep.
All right. Helps you aerobically because it gets more oxygen. Makes sense. What about anaerobically? What about strength and jumps and all that sort of stuff?
Well, I already know the answer to this, Steve.
All right.
Because I understand the performance aspects a little bit, but won't steal your thunder. You go for it.
All right. So I asked at the top of this, how much does just peppermint, sniffing peppermint or ingesting peppermint in your stomach at 0.05 mils, how much does increase your grip strength?
Yeah.
And I said, was it 5%, 10%, or I just made up a number over 35?
I know that if you're looking at 10% increase in grip strength, that's significant improvements for anyone doing any sort of functional fitness or even just trying to build more muscle tissue, right? You're putting the muscle under more load.
Yep.
For CrossFit, for anybody who requires, fireys, anyone who requires that ability to be able to improve, 10% is massive. In fact, that's the difference effectively, I believe, from somebody that's hydrated and not hydrated. Yeah. So that's a massive increase.
10% is massive.
Huge.
If you can lift or run 10% faster, you'll win every Olympic Games,
All right, so Steve, 5%, ba-bomb.
Yeah, no, it's more than 5%.
10%, wrong.
Yeah, wrong. 36.1% grip strength increase.
Yep.
I thought you remember that specific number.
I do know
better read the paper because people are going to go, that's BS. Okay, so it says instant effects of do you like that? I didn't make that up. Instant effects of peppermint essential oil on the physiological parameters and exercise performance. And again, they use 500 microliters or 0.05 mils.
Yep.
So that's the
very
dose
small
you want.
amount. Yep.
Very small amount. So after oral administration, increased grip strength by 36.1%, standing vertical jump by 7%, and standing long jump by 6.4%.
So basketballers are going to love that as well too, right?
Oh.
7% increase in your jump.
Yeah. Now, this was a randomized control trial.
Yeah.
15 people in one, 15 people in the other group. So, they did the study properly. And look at that. Now, let's say it's half of that. Say it's 18% greater strength. It's
grip strength.
Yeah, grip strength, which is reflective of your overall strength. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Even at 36.1%, that is absolutely phenomenal. And this was in 30 healthy male university students. I don't know if too many healthy university students, normally they're on smoking wacky tacky like I used to.
So it's crossing the blood-brain barrier, so it's giving you alertness. So you feel good.
Yep.
It's improving grip strength by 36%.
Yes.
It's increasing vertical jump by 7%.
Yep.
It's helping with oxygenation as well too. So brilliant for endurance-based athletes.
Gets rid of acid.
So every single CrossFitter on the planet will want to be taking this product.
Every single athlete. Because you're either aerobic or anaerobic. You're doing one of those.
Oh, absolutely. You're 100% right. But I can't think of a better sport than, mind you, I used to use this before I play football religiously. This and electrolytes were the things that I'd use all the time. And I'd be playing some games at 9:30 at night. So I didn't want to go and take caffeine. So, which is a bit of a false economy anyway at the end of the day. But you think specifically for functional sports like CrossFit, you can't get a better product.
Well, let's take peppermint through your average day, and we'll see where it can be used. So the first thing you do, you wake up, you have some peppermint oil orally, and you go to the gym and smash it. All right. You come home, have a shower, and you get 3% peppermint. Put it on your
hair.
Yeah,
So you got long locks.
Yep, and then you got to get ready for work, so you're probably stressed about that. So you
rub
put a
some in your
tension headache
temples.
on your
So
head.
headache's gone.
You get to work, you want to work harder, so you put some in aromatherapy board. It helps with mental clarity. I don't know
if anybody gets to work and go, you know what, I want to work really hard for the boss today.
Yeah, I do, Jeff.
Yeah, you better.
So put it in a burner because it helps you think and clear and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, you might have eaten a terrible lunch. You can take some orally to help with your gut.
Yep.
You might feel a bit sick.
Yep.
The aromatherapy oil helps you feel sick. Stops nausea.
Yeah. And then you go home and you're how's your father?
Yep.
And a little dab will do you.
A little dab on certain parts for the evening.
And all of a sudden you've got a great evening, and then you go to sleep and you start all over again the next day.
That's exactly right. So that's how peppermint.
And we're talking about women, not men for that last part.
Exactly. And then just before you go to bed. Yeah.
You try it, Steve. Let me know how you go.
I'm tempted to actually. But I've never tried it on that area, but I could try it. Someone's got it. But then, of course, just before you go to bed, you brush your teeth with peppermint oil. You go to sleep.
I suggest you brush your teeth before you do the other part. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I'm missing out. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't want to say anything, Steve. Yeah.
Damn it.
Breath monster. Yeah. Okay, cool. That's really fun. I like that as fun though. But that's interesting. So many applications, both orally, topically, and
aromatherapy,
inhaling.
Yeah, inhaling. I mean, it's good for so many aspects of your life that you can incorporate this stuff into everything. And some people might not be getting tension headaches or might not be going bald. They don't have to worry about the topical stuff. That's fine. But why not? Incorporate in it. It certainly beat minoxidil, which is the stuff you get from the pharmacy. That
unbelievable. I'd like to see if you can do some more research on that in terms of the impact that it had on male pattern baldness, specifically the impact on DHT. Now, I know that what you're saying is that caffeine and some other compounds can sort of arrest that, where you might make this collaboration synergistic, which we've got, which we just have to. But yeah, it's excited me again to give that a crack.
I mean, 3% oil. It's pretty simple. Peppermint oil is very cheap. You can get it from most pharmacies. I've got some at home, of course. I use it for all sorts of weird things, but it's a terrific oil that's so versatile. But yes, I use it for strength is the main thing I use it for. So get into this stuff because it's incredible.
Well, Steve, that's really peppermint. Wow. I
Amazing.
mean, so many applications, so much benefits and performance. Seems like everywhere, but certainly as far as sport is concerned. So definitely, if you are training in the evening and you are sick and tired of whacking yourself with caffeine and just not being able to sleep, give this a try.
I think it's a great all rounder too.
Yeah.
Look for that 50 microgram or micromil because that's what the studies show.
Yep. Yep. Oh. And and again, it could be something that's missing in your repertoire. Help with grip strength, help with vertical jump, help with oxygenation, open up the lungs. Again, there's so many things it can help with. So yeah,
absolutely.
From a performance point of view, and then the other things that you mentioned, Steve, in terms of work and headaches and that sort of stuff as well too, and digestion and IBS. I mean, just amazing. So
IBS, it's a huge one for. I skipped over that a bit because it just goes on and on. Studies are everywhere.
It's crazy. It's great. So, Steve, apparently you've done a really good blog on this as well too. So, do you want to direct people to the website where they can have a look at the blog that you've done?
Sure. Look, just look. Get on the ATP website. It's brand new, by the way. It's beautifully set out. So just up the top there, you got a search bar. Just look for peppermint oil up there, or type in peppermint, and you'll see all the fun and games and all the blogs I've done on that. It's fully referenced. There's 12 references in it.
Perfect.
And I talk about the history of peppermint oil and who it was used by and all this sort of stuff.
Great.
And also the studies.
Excellent.
So I love the history of it too. So that's a good one too.
Perfect. And for everyone listening, thank you so much for taking the time to listen. If you're watching via YouTube, again, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button. It means a lot to us. It really does. Please, however you're listening to this, whether it's YouTube or on Spotify or on the various other methods that we're up there, please contact us. We'd love to hear from you. What topics would you like to hear? Also, ask us questions. I want to do a podcast, Steve, just where we open it up to the listeners and you ask us anything and we will answer within reason, so safe for YouTube. But pretty much we'll answer every single question that you've got. If you want to hear about a topic, do you want to hear about GMO foods? Do you want to hear about weird science that we believe in? Do you want to hear about a supplement? Do you want to hear about the benefits of a herb or a compound? Whatever it may be. Steve and I are here to sort of answer your questions, do the research so that you don't have to, make it nice and easy for you. So we'd love to hear from you. Thanks everyone for tuning in.
Thank you. We'll see you next week.